It's September the 27th picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code MLB SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday, September the 26th. We are here to handicap as much as possible an ugly little card for Friday, September the 27th. Joining me, we might have to do 20 minutes on his skincare routine tonight, is Mr. Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing well. It's good to start the day off with a winner. I had Kyle Gibson over 4.5 strikeouts, so it's nice that we got a winner to start the day. And Tigers just keep on winning. They rally again, man. So can't get in front of this Tiger team.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a quite a frantic baseball session today. I had a lovely over 8 pick in the Royals and Nationals, so I had a winner to start the day as well. That cashed in. It was 4-4 after 3 innings, so I was in the winner's circle nice early. I then immediately offset that by blowing the entire lot. I took the under 10.5 in the Cardinals-Rockies game, which was blown by the 4th inning. So easy come, easy go, Dylan. You know, I had one spectacular winner and then immediately offset it with a spectacularly bad loser. Such is life.
Did you see all the fans in the sold-out crowd in Oakland last game in the Coliseum?
Yeah, I know. I listened to a couple of little podcasts and bits about it. I haven't actually caught up with any of the visuals yet. Did it look good? How was it look? Like a bit emotional and stuff?
Yeah, it was emotional for like all the diehard fans. It was filled up with everyone. People were ripping seats out there, trying to take whatever they could from the stadium. So, you know, just insanity. But it was good and unfortunate that they are going to Vegas.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, the little I knew about baseball before I started this journey, sort of 8 years ago, Oakland A's were absolutely a team on my radar. They had a reputation. They were a grand old sort of institution. Moneyball remains one of my favourite all-time watches. I watch that at least once a month. It's absolutely outstanding. Can pretty much recite it word for word. It's great to get the amount of day-to-day situations you can get a Moneyball quote in is absolutely outstanding. That's one of my favourite things. So yeah, a bit of a shame. Vegas will be fun. We'll have to see. Hopefully one day down the line, I can sit in that ballpark in Vegas and watch a game. Maybe with you, Dylan. Who knows? We can watch. We can watch the Vegas A's against the Mets one day and get belligerent together. That's something to look forward to. Yeah, you mentioned the Tigers before, and Bo Brisky again. Frisky Brisky, man. The Tigers were 3-0 down in that game. 2 runs in the 6th, 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Bo Brisky out the bullpen. Foley wraps it up. Absolutely outstanding. The Royals got back-to-back wins. They very much needed those. The live stuff at the minute is all very middle of the road. Nothing much happening. Oh, the White Sox won easy. The White Sox won 7-0. What a team.
Yeah, they're on fire to end the season. I like it.
Finish this season, yeah. Get on early, way too early. 2025 World Series bets, Dylan. Chicago White Sox, it looks like the way they finished. The plan tonight was to have a look around the games that are with remaining playoff implications, but it's all a bit messy. There's the shenanigans, obviously, with the Mets and the Braves. But what that's done is messed up the starting pitches. I mean, I haven't talked about this. I'm guessing probably Did you do the show last night, or was it maybe Scott and Lonte? I'm guessing they talked about the Mets and the Braves, but I haven't. So just give me, Dylan, the implications. I mean, how disadvantaged are these two teams, or particularly with a Mets angle from you, how disadvantaged they're going to be by what's happening here?
Yeah, I think essentially they're going to have to play 2 playoff games. If it's not decided in this Brewers series or the next series this weekend, they're essentially going to have to play 2 playoff games within 24 hours and one afternoon, which is insane. Use all their pitchers up, and it sucks for the Mets because they need these wins. So do the Braves. So it's unfortunate. The bullpens are going to be heavily used. So hopefully, we don't have to use them as much as we'd like in this Brewers series. So it sucks. It always comes down to us and the Braves, late in the season, and then this hurricane wind up screwing everything up. So very unfortunate, but yeah, implications are tough. I think it's going to come down to that last day, depending on how this series goes.
Yeah, I mean, it puts the Mets potentially, and the Braves in a tough travel spot as well. If they're in Milwaukee, then back to Atlanta for Monday, and then possibly straight back to Milwaukee if that's going to be the matchup. So yeah, obviously this weekend it sort of focuses the attention. Not that everyone's attention on both clubs wasn't fully focused on these weekend series, but if they can just get into a position where those games aren't important on Monday, and the league can scrap them, that's great. But yeah, so we've got quite a lot of missing pitchers. As I say, to get away day, so there's teams playing baseball, there's teams getting out and travelling. But we'll try our best to make a handful of picks if possible. We're going to start tomorrow with 6:40 Eastern first pitch. It is the 2025 World Series champions, the Chicago White Sox, taking on the Detroit Tigers. Left-handed pitcher Garrett Crochet goes for the White Sox, and the Tigers are TBD. Finished a couple of hours ago, that game. They haven't really been running on many starters anyway. Detroit, they're -164 for this game without the pitcher, which seems about right. Crochet +138, total sits at 7.5. Just a couple of things about the Tigers to start with is that Jackson Job, which way Jackson Job, that's his name, isn't it?
Yeah,
we talked about him on Tuesday. Yeah, he sounds like he should be. There's enough young Jacksons in the league with Merrill and everybody else, Churio, that Jackson Job has added to that. But we talked about him getting called up on Tuesday. We said it was a good thing. And he did, he locked down a save last night, got into the game. Or maybe it wasn't a save, but he pitched the 9th inning. He pitched a shutout 9th inning for the Tigers. So interesting to see how he goes going forward. The presence of Garrett Crochet here, it's quite nice to be able to handicap a game because you almost know what you're going to get out of him, which is 4 innings, exactly 4 innings, and 4 good innings. So it takes out a quarter of the game because you can rely on him. He's not going any deeper, but he doesn't get hit either. 4 innings against the Padres again last time. Really steady in these short starts. Detroit, I think you have to take Detroit. Say the White Sox have won a couple of games here, but Detroit just carrying on at home, I think, is a big part of this as well. The games have all been fairly tense, fairly low scoring, but the home crowd's into it. They've got this momentum on the home stand. No travel spot for them. They've pulled it out the bag again on Thursday. I mean, as far as my pick would get me, Detroit at -164 without the starting pitcher, Dylan. So nothing too fancy on this one, but I do think Detroit would keep rolling. Possibly use them in a parlay piece with something else. Anything else you like?
Yeah, regardless of who's going for the Tigers, I agree. I think you still have to take them in this spot. They just keep on winning. They won again today, scoring 2 runs late in the 8th inning. And now they're getting a red-hot White Sox team, at home. I think this is a good spot for them. I do think it should be Casey Mize who gets to start for the Tigers. And like you said, Garrett Crochet, you know where he's going to go. He doesn't go deep into games. He'll give you 4 innings. I just can't back the White Sox. Tigers, they've won 5 in a row. Comeback win today, like I said. White Sox feeling good after their homestand. So I don't think Casey Mays, by the way, he has been terrible. And even if she is a little shaky, this Tiger team, like you were mentioning at the top of the show, they've been really good as well. Second best bullpen in the AL. I made that if this is the pitching matchup between Casey Mize and Garrett Crochet, I made the Tigers minus 210 favorite. So at plus 128, I see. I like the run line here, or maybe get a first 5 Tigers. It'll probably bring the number down a little bit instead of minus 160. So yeah, maybe Tigers first 5, or you want to sprinkle a little on the run line, get some plus money. But I got to lean with the Tigers here.
Yeah, I mean, Casey Mize goes pretty short as well, probably about the same length as Crochet. I know what the Tigers with their rotation is sort of seeing if they need Scooble. I saw Casey Mize scheduled for Sunday, but it's whether or not they need Scooble to win them another game, or if they can wrap it up before then. So it makes sense that their pitching rotation is in a state of flux. If you haven't heard the new network show that Sean is bringing you with Doug Stanhope and Brendan Wallace, very much recommend it. Doug and Brendan are stand-up comics that you might have heard on the Joe Rogan podcast, Howard Stern Show, and Comedy Central. So give that a listen, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Next game we're going to have a look at is, let's have a look. So it's scanning all these. 7:20 Eastern between the Kansas City Royals and the Atlanta Braves. It is Brady Singer for Kansas City. For Atlanta, Atlanta were officially TBD. We believe it's Max Fried who's going to go for the Braves in this spot, and the Braves are minus 184. So that would back up the idea that it's Fried. Singer and the Royals plus 154. Total Dylan 7.5.
Yeah, I saw Chris Sale, but regardless, I think regardless of who it goes, Max Fried or Chris Sale, I was going to take a Royals team total under. I think this is a good time to kind of fade them here. I mean, they haven't looked good, and my handicap is basically on Chris Sale. So, he's been really good. Cy Young, he's going to win the Cy Young. He hasn't given up more than 2 runs since June 1st, and it was against this A's team. So, Royals, they did score 7 today. They've only scored, but outside of that, they've only scored 3 runs or more one time in the last 7 games. So offense has kind of been shaky. They have won 3 in a row, keeping alive in that AL wild card race, but I if it is Sale, I don't know where they're going to get the runs from. He's been amazing. So even in Max Fried, I still think they're going to win this game. So I understand the line. They are at home. Both teams need this game. So I was going to take the Royals and fade them here in a nice buy low spot because, they're riding high, going on the road. They need this win. I was going to fade him and take the Royals team total under, but it says TBD. I thought it was going to be Chris Sale, so maybe a little switch up. But, yeah, I'm going to fade the Royals here.
Yeah, as it stands, I've got Fried going Friday, then Holmes, Schwellenbach Saturday and Sunday, Fried and Sale for the double header on Monday. Again, how accurate that is, I don't know, but it just kind of
that's
makes
why
sense.
the double headers kind of screwed everything up.
Yeah, it really, really has. Brady Singer, I don't really want to back him. He's quite hard to fancy. I mean, he's eaten 173 innings now for the Royals. He's actually pitched a career high in games started, in innings pitched, standing strikeouts, Brady Singer. And in a rotation with Wacker, Lugo, Michael Lorenzen, who came back the other night, Brady Singer's been a decent enough SP4, SP5. Like I say, he's eaten those innings at the back end of the rotation. He has struggled lately, generally 5 and dive. He's not as good on the road. His August and September ERA is up around 6. So he is out of fancy. And if the Braves throw Fried, you would expect them to win kind of comfortably, minus 184. So the run line would be a backable price. But yeah, that's about as far as we get on that one. The next game we were going to look at is a little bit of an odd one. Again, it's 2 TBD pitches. I mean, I apologise for this. I know listening, it's really far from ideal. Doesn't help with the flow of the show, but it happens every time this time of the year comes round. 8:10 Eastern between the Baltimore Orioles and the Minnesota Twins. both TBD. I think it's Cade Povich for Baltimore and Pablo Lopez for the Twins. The books do not have this one priced up even a little bit, so the books are in the dark as much as we are. Baltimore have taken advantage this week, or certainly the last two nights, of a less than fully focused New York Yankees team. They won the Tuesday and Wednesday games, scored a few runs as well, and I think they needed it, Baltimore. There was just a little, you get the impression there was a little cloud hanging over them. Although we did mention Jordan Westberg coming back, and the almost coincidence between how the team goes and how Westberg goes. And actually, Westberg coming back has livened them up a little bit. Povich isn't very exciting. He's had back-to-back starts against Detroit, which were both 5 innings and 2 earned runs. Did strike out 15 batters across those 2 starts. He's got a road ERA of 9.75. I don't think it's that bad. He just got lit up a couple of times early in the season away from home. Pablo Lopez got lit up last time at Boston, 7 earned runs in 4 innings. He was doing okay before that, although he hasn't been as good as we know he can be. He is happier at home, 3.64 ERA, and he's got a 2.74 post All-Star break, so he has pitched well in the second half of the season. This is really, really hard to pick. The Twins, 2 wildcard games back. They made hard work of Miami again, though. Miami Monday, we got at a nice price, 2-1 on Monday night. Both offenses are still way below average, and the bullpens are okay. We're getting a little bit of September weather as well. So I would take an under, but we haven't seen a line on it though, Dylan.
Yeah, like you said, Twins still fighting for that last playoff spot, and I honestly think this might be a good spot for them. If it is Pablo Lopez, which I do think, and Cade Povich, I made the Twins a -150 favorite with Lopez on the mound. Lopez, he hasn't allowed a run in his last 3 home starts. This is the spot you want to back him at home. On the road, you kind of want to fade him. And for the Orioles, Cade Povich, he's a complete fade on the road for me. The Orioles have lost his last 4 road starts. He's 2-8 straight up in his last 10 starts. Long road trip. You mentioned just playing in the Bronx, a tough series against the Yankees. Now going up to Minnesota. It's a tough travel spot for them. And, the Orioles are already in the playoffs. I think for the Twins, they're in desperation mode. Anything under a 150, I would take the Twins here. As for the total, my total came out to 8.6. So hopefully we get a 9. We could take that under.
Okay, team ride on the under, whatever the number is. Underdog Fantasy Pick'ems, always under their awesome menu. They've got first touchdown projections, loads of ways to win with NFL. Dylan's got about 15 seconds to come up with an NFL winner tonight. College football, MLB, MMA, the lobby's jam-packed with profits and boosts. Sign up using our code MLB SGPN to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. The higher or lower tonight in the Cowboys-Giants game is
Daniel Jones, higher 6.5 rush attempts.
Oh, wow. You think he's going to be running around like Kyler Murray there, like a toddler in the backfield?
Yeah, look what Lamar did to that defense last time.
We're back on that Baltimore game. This is Bailey in the chat. Good evening. Welcome along. Their bullpen's going to be a little bit beat up after tonight, so maybe limit your bets to the first 5 or indeed a live in-play bet a little bit later on. So welcome along, Bailey. Appreciate that. Anything else you've got, by all means, throw them out for us. Next game we'll have a look at is, here we go, Dylan. Big old series this weekend, 8:10 Eastern, between the New York Mets and the Milwaukee Brewers. Sean Manaea, left-handed pitcher for the Mets. It will be Frankie Montas for the Brewers. The Brewers are -102. The Mets -116. Total, Dylan, is 7.5. How you feel about this weekend, mate? Are you excited, nervous, or are you taking it all in your stride?
I'm a little nervous. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous, but should be a really good series. Brewers already locked up the NL Central, but they're still out here winning games. They won again. They won again today against Pittsburgh. You can't take this team lightly, and we should be getting Lindor back. He was scheduled to make his return last night, but he's going to get an extra 2 days off, which should help. I think it's going to help this whole team, to be honest. My numbers did make the Mets a short favorite, -115. It's a little above my price, but I honestly just think Sean Manaea has been the better pitcher. He actually pitches better on the road this season, and Frankie Montas, he just got rocked in his last start. He didn't even go 3 innings. He's given up 3+ runs in 5 of his last 6 starts. So kind of a guy, you know what you're going to get out of him. He's going to give up a few runs, but in a shootout, maybe they'll win. But I don't know. The Mets hit well on the road. Like I said, they just got 2 days off. They're in a really good spot, I think, with one of their best pitchers on the mound. Brewers really don't hit lefties all that well. So I don't know. I think this is a good spot for them. Biased in me, I'm going to take the Mets here.
Yeah, Manaea's been bomb-proof lately for the Mets. Really good length, lots of strikeouts. He's excellent on the road, 2.77 ERA. He's just really easy to trust. Frankie Montas is kind of the opposite. He's got one good start against the Giants in his game log, but his form's dropping off. He got beat up completely by Arizona last time out. He started quite well with the Brewers when he came across in the trade, but he's pretty quickly, his numbers are heading back towards his Cincinnati numbers, which were disappointing. The Mets will be keen to turn this unusual situation into a positive. Bailey in the chat again. Lindor's back, as Dylan said. The Mets have got their arms rested. Bailey wants the Mets. You want the Mets, Dylan. Yeah, team ride. Give me the Mets. Yeah, nice price as well. -116. Next game to have a look at, all the way down to a 9:40 Eastern first pitch between the San Diego Padres and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Martin Perez for the Padres, left-handed pitcher. Merrill Kelly will go for the Diamondbacks, so our -126 with the Padres +108. Total is set at 9. Martin Perez continued to surprise, sort of, every time his name pops up on the card when I'm doing a show. I have a little eyebrow raise. He's had 3 excellent starts in a row now. Only 2 earned runs given up in those 3 starts. He hasn't faced the strongest of opposition. I will caveat that slightly. But he started 9 games for the Padres with a 2.61 ERA. And that sample size is now big enough for us to be able to trust him. Merrill Kelly had a really good first half of the season, struggled through August, but he's finishing okay. He's better at home. I think the 2 starting pitchers here, the fact that their names are on the docket, keep the total manageable. But I can't ignore the recent form of the 2 lineups. They're just scoring tons of runs between them. So it's counterintuitive because I've just said I like both starting pitchers. I've got no reason to mistrust them. But I still think we can take it over. Fernando Tatis was back last night hitting runs. The Padres were competitive against the Dodgers. The Diamondbacks are just scoring, even if they occasionally lose, but when they lose 10-9. Runs all over the place. I'll take it over 9. Let's have a shootout, Dylan.
Yeah, give me the Padres +108. Just like the Tigers, I don't know if I could get in front of this Padres train right now. They're really not blowing teams away, but they are winning close games. They're just playing sound baseball, good baseball defensively as well. And you mentioned it, Martin Perez. He's looked great in the month of September. Just 2 runs given up in 16 2/3. He gives the club good length as well. I liked what I've seen out of him. And Merrill Kelly, he's been good, but the last 2 home starts has not been good. He's given up 3+ runs in both of those starts. I agree. I think he's had a better first half of the season. And, you don't want to do that against an offense like San Diego. That's where they'll mess up, I think. And, and when Merrill Kelly is out of the game, even if he does go well, do you really trust his snake bullpen? I don't. So I think the Padres are the much better team at plus money. I'm going to take the dog here. I agree with the total as well. I think we could see a shootout. I set my total at 9.5, so love the over.
Yeah, the Arizona bullpen have been great. It's helping us cash a lot of overs for the Diamondbacks lately. They certainly chip in. BetUS is the best in the business, been around for more than 30 years. You can easily deposit using crypto and get lightning fast payouts. Support SGPN and get yourself access to another great book by signing up at BetUS. Use our link. What an incredible bonus this is. 3 deposits, your first 3 deposits, 125% deposit bonus on each of those. at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus, promo code SGPN, so we know you sent you. BetUS is America's favourite sportsbook, and SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive models in seconds. You can build your own model or copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard. Tons of stats, research, trend analysis. So all of your bets will be better researched. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Final main game on the board here is a Cowboy time, 10:10 Eastern first pitch between the Oakland Athletics, who have played their last game at the Coliseum, and the Seattle Mariners. Left-handed pitcher JP Sears is confirmed for Oakland. Seattle at TBD. Dylan told me it was Luis Castillo. Let me see if I can find any confirmation. No, I've still got TBD, so we'll trust Dylan on this one. I haven't seen any lines on this game either. Dylan, Oakland at the Mariners. Any thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, I think it should be Luis Castillo. I think he's coming back from that hamstring injury. From what I read, the rehab went well. And if it is him, this is where you want to back him, in my opinion. At home, he has been really good this season. On the road, he is a little shaky, but Seattle has won his last 3 home starts, and he's only allowed more than 3 runs one time in his last 7 home starts. So I just think this might be a good spot to return for Castillo at home. Mariners, they are swinging a hot bat as of late, kind of in desperation mode as well, trying to get that last spot in the AL. And now going up against JP Sears, who, in my opinion, just hasn't been good in the month of September. 4+ runs given up in 3 of his last 4 starts. Really not ideal going up against a hot offense in Seattle. I just don't know where the runs are going to come from here with Oakland. I expected them to win in their last game at the Coliseum. Major letdown spot here for them. So I made if it is Castillo versus JP Sears, I made the Mariners a -190 favorite. So if you're able to get any plus money on the run line, I think it might be worth a sprinkle.
Yeah, I mean, a great angle in is the angle that Bailey's pointing out, is that it's going to be a party tonight in Oakland. Probably a slightly more melancholy one for the fans. But a lot of the players won't be that invested, but will still party anyway. So quite a tough spot for them. JPC has, 3 of his last 4 starts have been terrible, including a start against Seattle on September the 4th, where he gave up 5 earned runs. Seattle won that game 16-3. So as a comparison, yeah, I can take Seattle here behind Castillo. And like I say, this travel spot, the party spot, the emotional spot, if the players are invested, let's find some way of getting Seattle involved. Looking around, it was such a sort of slim card earlier on, Dylan, that I did have a look around what we call the bottom draw of MLB, and there was a couple of things caught my eye. The first one here is in the very last game off, which is the late game between the Cardinals and the Giants. We've got Miles Mikolas going for the Cardinals. Never usually need an excuse to fade Miles Mikolas. The Cardinals are in action right now. They've got a travel spot from Colorado, not a big one, Colorado across to San Francisco. But the picture that caught my eye for the Giants, it's the presence of Landon Roop, not a name that we're hugely familiar with on the show here. 22 games, majority of them out the pen, but he's now started 3 games. His last 2 starts, he went 5 scoreless against the Royals and the Padres. So I think he can go well here. And like I say, happy to fade Mikolas, happy to fade the Cardinals in the spot. So I think the Giants put up 10 runs the other night behind Logan Webb. So the Giants can get us on the board. So I thought the Giants were a nice price at -118. And the other thing I wanted to mention was Jacob deGrom starts tomorrow against, who's he playing?
The Angels and Reed Detmers.
That's it. It's the Angels and Reed Detmers. 2 starts for deGrom. He's only gone 6 2/3. given up 1 earned run, but he has struck out 9 batters. He struck out 4 and 5. Now, if we could stretch him out just a little bit, if he can go a little bit deeper into the game, the Angels love to strike out. 26.7% strikeout rate over the last 14 days. So I don't know what the books will hang the line at, but I think DeGrom could be a sneaky little strikeout prop for tomorrow. If the books give you a lazy 4.5, let's get on DeGrom. And I've actually got another pick, Dylan. I've been busy.
I love it.
This is honestly, I looked at my notes about 3 hours ago and I thought, I can't come armed with that. It's pathetic. I had about 4 half-arsed picks with no lines. So I looked at the Rays and the Red Sox as well, which is Taj Bradley against Nick Pivetta. And it just looks like a little bit of a pitching duel. Both offenses have given up. The Rays haven't scored any runs for ages. I like Bradley. Pavetta's going okay. It's a bit cold, and the offense is a dog shit. So, yeah, a bit of a pitching duel. So, a low-scoring game between the Rays and the Red Sox. Dylan, did you any thoughts on any of that rubbish?
No, I love no rubbish. I love the strikeout prop for Jacob deGrom. I just hope they extend them a little bit, because if they do at least 10, 15 more pitches or another inning, I think he can get it. And I love the Giants on the money line, -121. I made him a -145 favorite. Landon Rupp has been pretty good. I know coming out of the bullpen, but his last few starts has been good. He's only allowed 2 runs at home against Milwaukee. And their offense has been good so far recently. They're kind of playing spoilers. I love it. We've been getting the Mets have been getting some help from the Giants recently, but they put up 11. They just shut out the Diamondbacks 11-0. They won 6-3, 9-0 against the Royals the other day. So yeah, they're scoring some runs. I like them in this spot, and this is where you want to back the Giants at home. So yeah, I like that play a lot.
Okay. See if you can find us a lock and a dog then, Dylan, from what we've looked at.
All right. For my dog, I gave out a few. I like maybe Tigers on the run line if you wanted to take a chance there. But I think I'm going to go with the Padres here, man. I really like them in this spot. You know, we talked about Martin Perez just being phenomenal in the month of September. And Merrill Kelly, you know, he did get removed out of his last start with that I think it was a calf injury. So I'm going to look to fade him here. And I think this offense could get going for the Padres. So I'm going to take the +108 as my dog. Who am I going to lock up? Call me crazy. I'm not going to jinx the Mets because we actually really need this series.
I'm waiting for that. I thought you might pull the trigger, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I'm not. I'm going to take the Twins here. I think I know there's no lines, but anything under a -150, I think this is a really good spot for them against an Oriole team that, you know, still struggling, and K. Pavich is just a complete fade for me. So I do think they'll be the favorite at home. What they'll be, I don't know, but anything under a -150, I do think the Twins are the right side. But if it is higher than -150, I'll take the Mets. Why not?
I'm going to go with I'm going to take the Giants as my lock. I know it wasn't off the main course, but I'll use one of the appetizers as my lock. And there was a few people lurking in the chat who all co-signed the Giants pick as well. -118, I think, is a nice play for Landon Root. And as my dog, let's have a look. I mean, there wasn't many stood out. It was slim pickings, wasn't it? In fact, I can't even think one off the top of my head. I think the Padres live. It's only a small puppy. I took runs. I just think the Padres are maybe a better team. Well, there's no maybe about it, actually. Yeah, they are a better team than the Diamondbacks. So +108. I'll take the Padres. I've been straight on them the last couple of weeks. Have got a World Series ticket in my pocket for the Padres. So hopefully they can get a win and help out. Yeah, let's take the Padres. And Dylan, Munaf, when we did the show on Monday, hit his home run prop. So let's see what you've got for us, Dylan.
All right, yeah, let's go right back to that Padre and Diamondback game. I'm going to fade Merrill Kelly again in this spot. You mentioned it. He came back, hit a home run last night. I'm going to take Fernando Tatis to hit a home run. Like I said, he was removed last game with that calf strain. So I think this is a good spot to fade Kelly. Tatis, he's had great success in his career versus Kelly. 4 home runs and 22 at-bats. He's hitting .364 against them. He had a home run last night. He hit 2 home runs the past 3 days. So He's swinging the bat well, and in a game where I agree, I think we're going to see a bunch of runs. I think this is a good spot for Fernando Tatis, so I'll take him to hit another home run.
The two players that have caught my eye are in the same game, and it's a little bit counterintuitive because I took the under. I'm looking at Gunnar Henderson off Pablo Lopez, and then the same game, I'm looking at Royce Lewis possibly. So it's just which one of them I want to go to. I'll take Royce Lewis because Povich looks like a bit of a softer target than Pablo Lopez. Pablo Lopez has given up 9 homers in 14 home starts, actually. Did give up 2 in his last game, though. So maybe that's an angle in. So, yeah, we go with Royce Lewis, but let's have a saver on Gunnar Henderson to get one out. Dylan, we somehow managed to drag that out to 36 minutes. Well done, mate. Anything you want to tell us about before we go?
No, just we need all the luck we can get this week. It's a big week for us Met fans. So just wish us luck, Mal.
Yeah, mate, I'm on your side. You know it. I have got a Mets ticket in my pocket as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. Though that Monday could be appointment viewing if there's stuff at stake. So yeah, we'll see how the weekend pans out. Thanks, Dylan. Really appreciate it. Thank you to the chat. Bailey is a new name on me. Lovely to have you along, Bailey. Tyson as well. Ryan was in early doors. Nathan joined us. So we appreciate all of that. Like, rate, review, give us a thumbs up, helps out, makes the bosses think we are in some way competent. Someone is back tomorrow. But until then, good luck with all your bets, and we'll see you down the road. Cheers.